future keeps going.
It's when the camera comes on. It was. Okay.
Well, it's not like it matters anyway. It'll be
Well, it
fine.
should be there though. Hold on.
Give us just a second, everyone.
There it is right there. Oh, it might be because I got the ticker on. Watch.
No, it's fine. The ticker can stay on.
Okay. Because you know who it is.
Yes.
Well, all is well.
All is well.
peace, love, prosperity, loved ones, and those who are here for the basis of just because. Peace. I've been invited here by my young Empress daughter, and I appreciate her wanting to spend time with me. We're starting our podcast series, and this was a beautiful way to start it because it's us. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But I was going to let you go ahead and do your thing while I still continue to go with this. Yeah, all is well.
Thank you, everybody, so much for being willing to spend your time and attend. I am Amina McCullers, also known as September Royalty. I usually stay in the background more so and do everything on the back end because I just like being in the background. But I feel like you'll be seeing me a whole lot more like out in front because I feel like past this point it's just time for me to start speaking up more on things that I've learned over the years, things that he shared with me, things that my grandmother has shared with me, things that my mother has shared with me, and basically anybody that I've learned from and that I've been able to. So I wanted to start first for everyone to will my father right here a happy 57th solar return.
Thank you. Thank you so much, buddy. I greatly appreciate it.
I greatly appreciate you too.
I so do appreciate it. That's the love. That's the love. That's so much love for me. I don't know. I'm just grateful. I can't even explain it in detail. I don't know how to explain that other than, the vibe. People who have children who love them sincerely, you know how it feels. So.
Some things don't require words.
Yeah,
they just go.
Exactly.
They just go beyond that. It's just about the feeling.
Yeah, the feeling is more telepathic anyway, and the words don't even add up to what the feeling actually is. In that sense, not as much, but all is well.
Yes, sir.
Indeed.
Okay, so I had something for the end, but first I wanted to start by asking a few questions.
Okay.
So my first question is, well, first let me ask if you're prepared.
Yeah, I'm pretty prepared. I mean, I see you gave me an opportunity to look over, and I know, you don't play about your questions. You got some serious ones down here, so I don't have a problem with, this is what it's about. I mean, I don't have to rehearse for the answers. I just have to think about the question that you asked me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
I'm
sir.
good. So
Yes,
you can
sir.
start on number. You can start wherever you want.
Yes, sir. I
yeah.
think I'm just going to start from the first and just go down.
Okay, cool.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. And I'm starting with these questions. So my first question is, how did having such a big family shape your own growth as a father and as a man in general?
Okay. Well, first of all, having a big family is a dynamic that I saw as an only child from the outside in because my uncle had 12 children. And I used to go visit them all the time. And they were older than me, but I just loved being around them because I was the only child. I spent most of my time by myself, but when on the weekends and stuff and holidays and stuff like that, we would be with the family. So I would, and this difference as my uncle, Junior, Jasper Harris Jr., Detroit, he's the one who had the 12, and then my uncle Sonny, who had 3. And we used to spend, and then my auntie Georgia, she had one, Connie, but Connie had Andre, who was my first cousin. Me and him was the tightest. We were the only children. He was a little bit older than me, but that me looking at the dynamics, going and spending time with them and seeing, the big family thing and being by myself, I always wanted to, and I always said when I go through things, especially when I be going through stuff, I say I don't want to. I feel like I'm by myself. I didn't want to have a child and they have to go through things by themselves. And I feel like if I had more than one, if I have a child, I want to have more than one so they can have support for each other. And that's a throw in the pond because your children don't have to get along.
Yes,
they don't have to come here.
And they don't always get along.
They do not always get along. So, but I'm just grateful for the overall thing and how it's shaped me as a father. I've been more disciplined to myself. I'm in the mirror a lot. I stay. I realize that I'm projecting out, and everything that I see in y'all is just a version of myself that I'm really not satisfied within myself. If it's an issue that I'm seeing, you know what I'm saying. So I just kind of go inside and really continue to stay in the mirror and realize that's what's growing me as a father. And you all growing up and being more mature and learning on the level 1222, on the level that you guys are learning
Confirmation.
on. And that's not even 1222. That's the last time, but it still got to see those numbers.
It's just what you were meant to see.
Exactly. But from, from just the whole overall thing, you all, like I said, maturing, and then me recognizing the more I mature, the more you mature, and the faster I mature in different ways, the more you mature in different ways, like faster in different ways. And you assist me
Yes, sir.
to more, because I have to stand on it.
Yes,
I
sir.
have to be responsible for things, And I've
Yes,
always
sir.
been a person of my word. I feel some kind of way if I'm not able to, do what I'm supposed to do when it comes down to y'all, and especially
Yes,
with
sir.
y'all requests. So, just as a man in general, you all have brought light to me to strengthen my ability to be better, because I'm looking at you all growing from what I have, planted, and you're growing in such a way that I'm grateful for. That
Yes, sir.
I'm going to continuously be on my own ass about it. You
Yes,
know what
sir.
I'm saying? Because I don't want to. I don't. It's not. Excuse me. It's not. I don't want to do anything. I'm not going to do things that don't line up to what I'm supposed to. You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying? And I'm already in the process of the allowing and the commanding and the willing of what is intended, and what is intended is already done for us.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, and I'm
As you've always said.
thank you, and I'm gonna continue to grow. I'm gonna continue to grow. I don't have a choice, and I constantly will and command that my growth, precedes you all, because I'm growing from you all. Like I can't get, yeah, maybe this, born day with solar return day is like, like maybe we do as we get older, but I'm telling you, I'm getting definitely more wisdom and learning the things that I have learned earlier. I'm being able to utilize them in the sense of why I learned them. So I'm grateful for that.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that's what, you know, having a big family has been the main thing that has made me grow, because I'm responsible for you guys. That's
Yes,
what I
sir.
feel. So
Yes, sir. And I
will
think
I
from a
answer?
child's perspective, also having a lot of siblings, both older and younger than you, teaches you a lot about how to carry yourself, because you have to be an example for the ones up under you. And then there are still the ones above you. You have to follow the pecking order, but sometimes you realize that some of them just aren't as mature as they could be. So sometimes you have to be kind of your own example in a sense, but go more to the parents for a example to go by rather than just the older siblings. And then that to me, I feel like has really assisted me with becoming a better example for the ones who are up under me.
Yeah, and you're a great example. I'm going to give you that. I'm going to tell you that. Honestly, you are. I wouldn't tell you that if it were not. I don't smoke. I don't blow no smoke.
So
So yeah, I'm grateful for that.
I appreciate it.
Indeed.
All right, so my next question. What's something about fatherhood that no one prepared you for?
Everything. Everything nobody prepared me about. I mean, I looked at people and thought I had some blueprints, and this is really, really, I how you could look at somebody you think is, they happy, they got a family, and it's an older person, especially if it's a father figure, and you younger, you looking at him like, man, when I grow, I'm gonna be a dad. I want to be a dad like him or whatnot. You look at a blueprint, you think you're following the script, you think you're doing what you see, and whatever you do, I'm not saying doesn't work, but it's not a blueprint. You have to go off the hip. It's like it's just, you have to go straight off the hip. You have to really trust your intuition. You know what I'm saying? Because
So,
nobody prepared me for anything. My mother, I have to say this. Um, my mother prepared me in a way of telling me that I could do anything I set my mind to early on. So after I started having children, I realized that the best thing that I could do is share the same thing with you all, but actually exercise the right to do it, because I can do anything I set my mind to. Just like
yes, sir.
since I shared that with you guys, you all have been able to do anything you set your mind to.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So I
Yes, sir.
kind of attribute that to something that my mom prepared me for, that that father could. Because the question is, what's something about fatherhood that no one prepared you for? Everything, like I said. But what my mother did prepare me was to pay attention to detail, and that will make me identify being a father, being a person, being a human being just in general, being out here in this world. you know. So yeah, that's pretty much what that is.
She always does set the best examples in our lives and still continues to do so.
Oh yeah, yeah. From the other side of the veil, she seems way stronger. I mean, well, I know she's way more influenceable because of the simple fact that there is no judgment, and I feel that she's made it clear that there is no judgment in the flesh. She bought that not judgment, but she bought that let you know what it is, so you can receive it as judgment because a lot of times it feels that way. But when an elder knows and they've been through some things as I am now, and I know I'm not attempting to judge any of my seeds or my friends or anybody that I affiliate with. I'm just being honest about the things that I see. And if I went through it myself and I felt it, I'm going to share with you because I love me enough to love you enough to do that.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Let them know what it is,
Mm-hmm,
so they don't get the wrong idea.
That's
it's better to try to get somebody to understand than watch them crash and burn, knowing that you could have told them one thing or a few things that could have prevented it entirely.
Indeed. That's powerful, of course.
Yes, sir.
Powerful, of course.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so my next question is, how has raising daughters changed the way you see parenthood and the world as a whole?
Yeah, that's a good one because I have to be honest, and I'm always honest about this because it's a part of my story that is the most powerful for me. I didn't want daughters. And I told her that, you know, to make it clear because she's been such an impact in my life, and I made it clear to her, like I was really like not really attempting to really be like that, but I put it out really strong. I didn't want daughters because I had a false experience of what an example of what a father dealing with daughters looked like early on when I was living fast and in the streets, and I was dealing with an older gentleman who had daughters, but I realized later on in life, okay, he and his daughters didn't have a good relationship, and I used to see him doing it looked like he was doing everything he could for them. It looked like that, but once I learned a little later on, he hadn't done much for them to start with, and when he started in a position when he was hustling or whatever, however he's doing, he was just doing things, and it didn't seem genuine. It just seemed because he had it and he was trying to suffice, old time or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes, sir.
I saw the relationship they had, and I was like, man, I don't want to, because it seemed like he was sad. He was suffering behind that. He seemed like he was sad, but he didn't go about it right. But I didn't realize he didn't go about it right because I didn't know his history or nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's later on I realized as I grew up and after I had daughters, and my love for you is beyond. My love for all y'all is crazy beyond, because when I had you, when you came out, I realized, oh, I must have wanted in my inner self, I definitely had to have daughters in my life. I ain't gonna lie, because I got 8 sons and I have 4 daughters. And now I used to say I would have all sons. I wouldn't necessarily do that. I mean, I wouldn't. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that because I love my kings. I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying my daughters have shown me in certain areas where they show me a little bit more support than my men, especially when they have gotten older and we've had to go through things. It's like we had to, even though I've set the foundation for all of us, I've had to prove myself to my men. My young queens, the empress, they don't seem like, they just take my love for true value. Like y'all really seem like y'all trust and believe and know because I do what I do. Even though I do what I do for all of y'all, it's the dudes seem like they want to be sometimes questioning shit. Like they want to be objective to things. And I realized, like a doctor told me one time when I was at having a checkup. He has 2 sons. He was a doctor. He told me when I was speaking to him about sons, he was just saying, he was like, well, I'm going to tell you something about fatherhood that I learned. He said, your son is your number one competitor. No matter how much you love and take care of him, he's going to compete with you because for whatever reason, it's just like that. And I say, man, no. I realized that I was being in denial because when he said it, it was a home run hit. But I'm sitting there like, nah, not mine. That not mine is what gets you the truth and the confirmation, yours, just like everybody else. It's just vibration. You dig what I'm saying? It's vibration. So you ain't going to be able to just, shift it around. So you guys, what has raising you has made me see the difference in balance. And then the feminine energy has given me even more to recognize most of my powers came from the feminine energy. Like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, my uncles and my dad, my father and my stepfather, everybody, all them strong men. My uncles are really strong men, but when I look at it, when I think about the course of action, the ones who put the real power in me were the women. Like my grandmother, my father's mother, she instilled in me no death. She told me long in my young age that she'll never die. She going when she goes to sleep for the last time, she gonna have a smile on her face, and she'll be able to communicate with me. And years later, she did exactly that.
He still does it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? She communicates with me consistently all the time. And now it's passed over to them. Now we've identified what this is. So that power is there. And same thing with my mother's grandmother. She, they made a transition, but they didn't go nowhere. My auntie B, my mother's older sister, my auntie Georgia, my auntie Esther, all of them really had an impact. My aunt Vicky, she was around. She lived in a different place, but she was just as impacting when she was around. All of them had very strong, and my aunt Geraldine on my father's side, my aunt Vera, I have had strong aunts, that on a love spiritual side, I realized that I took the alchemy and the love from that, for the feminine energy that is within me. We all got feminine and masculine. I realized that I've been fortunate and I'm very grateful that I've been given the healing modality along with the warrior shit that go with it. Like I heal as well as destroy. We all do, but I'm healer over everything. I realize, and I have no intention to like destroy, but when
Destroying in some instances is healing.
Well, it is in all instances, because that's what I thank you, because you confirmed it. I was going to say, but in the sense of the place in quantum we understand that as above so below, we're responsible for all sides of it, like the good, the bad, the ugly, they say, but it's just the good, the bad, if you want to call it that. It's just the opposite ends of the pendulum. It's whatever is everything from the opposite to the center. That's what it is. So polarity. So yeah, it's what it is, and it covers the whole thing. Hot is cold and cold is hot on opposite ends, but they're the same in the middle. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing, their temperature. Like, you know what I mean? So all is well with that.
Yes,
so I've learned so much from you guys, and I didn't expect too much to learn from my daughters not being able to tie it with it being connected to my other mothers, my aunties and my grandmothers and my mom, because my mom has made a transition, and what she's done, because she's done it to you and me and all of us, and that's the power. She went there and kind of confirmed what was going on and everything. She was already giving me a very, very fortunate sessions into the quantum with my relatives and everything, and so I'm good. I'm good in the quantum. My astro, that's what I focus on now. I know my healing is from the quantum. My healing is from the ancients, from the masters, from the source of all that is. And I'm just going to do everything. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure I keep on activating. So, yeah.
And I know one thing. I won't ever question it.
Thank you, sweetheart. I won't ever give you a reason. Because, in all honesty, there too, I've learned unconditional love from you all. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much shit I be on, you all don't trip with me. My mom would trip in a minute. Your mom would flip in a minute. And you guys may have your feelings, but you don't put it off on me like that. And I don't necessarily, it's like I deal with, y'all are different to me than each one of them. Like my mother is my mother. Your mother is your mother to me. And I couldn't have gotten you all without the co-creation agreement with her. And I'm so grateful for that. But your relationship is mine. Like I tell her all the time, I'm your king. I'm not your father. So I don't expect certain things you to even relate to. But when it comes down to me being the father to my father and king to my daughter, you have to hold your space. You have to understand what space you have in between that, especially if however you grew up, if you had it or not. I suggest that women hold your space when it comes down to a man that has really got a good relationship with his daughter or is attempting to do that, especially if you didn't, because you don't necessarily know the dynamics of that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really knows. And if it's a love thing, then let source work it out. You know what I'm saying? Let source do what source does. And if you know that all is well, if the intent is good, if your will is right, then you you can expect the commandments of your heart. That is what is. That is what happened. That is what is. And I got receipts. I got receipts. I got real receipts. I got receipts that can't be denied. And she's the eldest of my daughters. You know what I'm saying? That proves my receipts. So I don't have to jump up and down on nothing. All I have to do is show up. Or when they show up, I did already. So I'm grateful. Thank you again.
Thank you again.
Indeed.
I appreciate it. All right. So my next question is, what is something you've learned from your daughters that you didn't expect?
That again, unconditional, unlimited love I feel, and then I learned how to be more patient with females in general, because it's like my patience has been some kind of way. My mom, she used to be on me sometimes, and even with her, I'd be like, man, I'm not fooling with her. I'm not communicating with her, because she can get real ugly in a conversation. And my mom was aggressive. People that know her, she ain't never play. She don't care about how you feel about what she say, more so than that you hear what she said. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of like what it was. Mm-hmm. And I'm appreciative for that even more now, because at some points you like, I don't want to hear that, because you're not paying attention to anything I'm saying. And sometimes it wasn't. And we have to come to a medium. But, with my mother, with my Empress Goddess Queen, with my Empress Goddess daughter, I realize it's levels to this. It's levels to the way we're put in each other's lives. We do different things with each other. We're all in different perspectives of life. Your mother is like, all of them, anybody can get, like terminated for them. Like that's what their life means to me. But when it comes down to how you go about things, I can only impress certain energies upon my, Goddess Queen. It's not sometimes the same that I can impress upon my goddess daughter. So it's different for me how I maneuver, and each one of them is different, because like it is, no one's the same. So my blueprint that I thought I may have had with her, the next one is not going to work with. On top of that, they're all different zodiacs. They're all different in different, realms of vibration. And because I understand, natal charts, zodiac, astrology, and all that, I've really tapped into where I'm having to step back and allow things to be so that I can really pay attention. And my intuition leads me, you know what I'm saying, to, everything, the feeling. And because I was saying before, as we know, I know that people have had some kind of experience. It might have scared some people to the point they don't want to admit it. But I know everybody's had some kind of experience. It maybe have seen, it might have been out of body. It might have been near death. It may have been you thought it was either one, and it didn't really. It might have been a nightmare. It might have been a lucid dream. But these things are really happening. We're running through these quantums. We're jumping through the astro, whether or not you like it or not. Like, when you're daydreaming, you're going someplace. When you're asleep, you're going someplace. Have a nice enough dream or bad enough dream, and realize that this thing is really, really spiritual, because it's on the side of your spirit unconscious, that not in your physical consciousness. Because when you're physical, a lot of things you can see and you can adapt and you can kind of make your own decision. But when you go into unconsciousness and the body is at rest, and you leave this quantum and other things happening, you get into different realms and vibrations of things. It moves you different. So that's what I know. That's what I know. It's without question. And when you start dealing with people who have already, crossed over, if it started with you earlier or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody's had something going on. And if you haven't, you will. As long as you're living, if you're not paying attention, then you'll figure it out. Yeah.
One way or another, you're always being guided either way.
Indeed.
All right. So my next question is, if someone asked, how did you do it? What would be your honest answer?
Love. Because I'm grateful to say that I can honestly say that I have a better definition of love that I've ever had in my experience. And it came through, me having children, having, experiences one thing. My mom showed me love, made me want to love her back. But my children and my Empress Goddess Queen, she has shown me so much love. I don't think I've ever loved. I know I haven't never loved another woman the way I love her, other than my mom and my daughters. Like seriously, like then it's different levels. My mama got a level, my Goddess Queen definitely got a level, and my daughters definitely have a level. But she's put so much, she's erased so much of the bullshit that I've gone through prior to her, because my perception was I would never have this experience, even though I had a vision of it. You know what I'm saying? I had a vision for a
Yes.
long time, but when you have a vision and it goes away from all the things that you may do, the people you may get involved with, and the things, the relationships and stuff there, and I'm not blaming nobody. I ask for forgiveness to everybody that I had a relationship with, that I did anything or you felt some kind of way, but I ain't the culprit to all of that. So you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I'm in forgiveness for everything to everyone about everything that I've ever done that could have caused me or caused anybody an un balanced vibration at any time. That's just my point of where I am, what I'm always doing now. I'm putting it out there because it is what it is. That is active in the now like it was then. I'm just constantly making sure it's repetitive because I'm sincere about that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, in the sense of how do I do it? Is love. I'm understanding love more. I'm understanding that love hurts, love hates, love grows, um, love unalives, love
Seems like it
gives
does a
life.
bit of everything.
Yeah, well, it does. Love is the key. Like that's the reason I call myself Love King Malik. It was God King Malik, but I realize so many people don't realize the presence of God in themselves. And I'm not concerned about anybody being offended. I just have I have more of a will to affect people in a positive way by showing love rather than putting God on it and making people feel intimidated. The brother told me the other day he can't call me king, even though I called him King in the start. Well, hey, King, how you doing? What's your name? King. Oh, I can't call a brother King. I feel but you know what I mean. No, I know exactly what you mean, brother. Like it's respect, and I respect that because brothers don't sometimes deserve the right to be called king. But when you realize that you are, and that you're projecting out, and everyone that is you're projecting out is, you know what I'm saying? So I just utilize that for that aspect of how I'm dealing with people. But yeah, it's love. And that love is because initially, the first probably 8, 9 years of my life, I don't think I went to church in family reunions. When we would go down south, we would go, but sometimes we wouldn't go to the church on the Sunday. It was just 3 days we were there. We were only there Saturday and Sunday, 2 days. And we were traveling back. We leave on Sunday, like right after the church service. So church never really clicked in my mind until the third grade when my mom had to send me there. And then I found out what church was. But prior to that, I didn't see Jesus as Lord. I didn't see Allah as God. I used to see the brothers on the corner with the bean pies. I used to see the Nation of Islam all the time because my father had a few friends that were in the nation. And I used to see a couple brothers who always be like, they say, I hear God, but Jesus, Jesus, Jesus wasn't really. But I see billboards everywhere that say God is love. God is love. Bumper stickers. God is love. That's what I used to see when I was young. God is love. God is love. And I used to see my mom praying all the time. But my mom used to be burning incense all the time. She used to be like, she used to go to church all like that in Detroit. It's when she got remarried after I was like 14, 15 years old. She moved back down there is when she started going back to church. And that's when they attempted to indoctrinate me. And I did as best as I could to understand it. And I'm appreciative for it. I really appreciate the clarity, the knowledge, the wisdom, the people, but I realized my people they weren't good because of Christianity. They were good because of the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? It's just that Christianity was being used as the catalyst to make them think that. You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't it. And I realized it early, but I still love my people, even though my people don't talk to me too much, especially since I kind of, I don't do the church thing, and I don't disrespect the church thing. But if you ask me something, I'm gonna tell you how I feel. But a lot of my family are still involved in church, and I want y'all to know how much I love y'all. And I don't feel no kind of way because y'all don't call me that since my mom made a transition and she was the one in church. I already know that you wasn't talking to me before because I wasn't in church, but I'm not concerned about that. I love you. Church don't have nothing to do with the love I have for my family, for all of you all. And if you don't like me, it's all good. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Love is love. I know love, like I said, love hurts, love heals, love eliminates, Love grows things. Love creates life. Love gives life. Love supports life, and love can make unsupportive all those things. So since love is such a dynamic in the interim of what I understand, God is love, the creator, source energy, not just the small God, not the small G, even in make capital. I'm talking about the creator, source energy, the one that everybody got all these names for. The source of creation is having all of these experiences through us as avatars, with being free of judgment to us from the perspective of as us, and we're just punishing ourselves by judging ourselves and everyone else. And this is my thing. This several people might see it this way. Some people think, "Oh man, you crazy as hell," before even thinking anything like that. But I feel like this is what I know. This is what I know for me. I know that I am source energy having a physical experience, very temporary, in this avatar. And I know that I'm free to do whatever, and I'm free to do whatever for real. And it doesn't matter if you judge me or not. It doesn't matter if you care or like me or not, because it's my experience, and I'm responsible for it. Your judgment does nothing for me unless I care, unless I put you in a space that it matters. I don't. I respectfully care in a different way. I take all the judgment away. When I left all the religions alone, I became more, compassionate to the fact that we're all in the same boat, regardless if you think you're this or you think you're that. We're still attempting to acquire the same thing, and that is love, like for real. You know what I'm saying? The love from the creator to get some kind of understanding. You atheists, I'm sure you still want to be loved. You can't hate everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, the atheists that I know, they don't hate nobody. They just don't agree with what you agree with. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, well, I don't have nothing against nobody. So I'm grateful for that. And if someone had to ask me how I do it with this family, I show them love and I give them the example of how it's supposed to be done when you're dealing with others. The best that I can. And they can give you that. They can tell you how they view that, because I don't know. All I'm doing is being me.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I don't know how to be anything else, baby. Thank you.
You're always welcome. So my next question is, you probably already answered this one though.
No, but that question right there needs to be asked because I got an answer for that.
You said, all right. So how did having 12 children shape your understanding of patience?
Now, that question right there was one I had to write something down to, because I was like, wow, that was 12 children. I got that number 12. It means a lot first, because to have 12 is like the 12 tribes. It's it's a lot that goes with that for me. And I'm looking at it like that because I even got a couple of prodigal sons. We got stuff going on that fit, the dynamics of how, things happen, not necessarily, well, in scripture, but scripture is just an example of a whole play of a whole bunch of other things that have already been. But it just aligns to the overall story for me, and me wrapping it into mine, me having 8, king sons and 4 queen, daughters. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I had to, with my tribe or my clan, had to start a community with another clan, and we got enough. We got 4, daughters, and we have 8 sons. So as if they had, the same thing, we could create a whole nation of people. You know what I'm saying? So I realized from that perspective, the creator must gave me a hell of a tall hand. Like, it's deep. So I'm gonna have to make sure that I'm real, strategic on how I carry myself, how I word things, how I present myself. Because everywhere I look, when they were little, this is what's a trip. Everywhere I looked, there was eyes on me. And because we had animals too, everywhere I looked, it was eyes on me. Like everywhere, every time I look up, a child staring at me, my God is there, somebody staring at me. And it made me realize, oh yeah, all eyes on me on some pop shit for real. But like for real, that made me realize. I started looking back, and they was emulating me. Some of all my bad stuff I was seeing first. My little ones, doing all my bad stuff, and they just emulate me, but they don't realize it's bad stuff. They just looking at me, and I'm like, okay, the mirror. That is the answer to that question. How 12 children, it made me understand patience, because I started looking at them, because every last one of y'all look like me. Y'all look like, you look like my mama to me. All y'all look like me, a form of me.
Yes, sir.
So it's like I'm looking in the mirror. And all my life I've been looking in the mirror. That's what, and so it kind of clicked one day, like, okay, I'm projecting out again, projecting out. These are my responsibilities. I'm gonna have to have patience with myself. I can't be tripping with y'all when I know this is me, and I don't. When I'm not patient with me, don't nothing go right. Every time I'm tripping about something, every time I'm attempting to do something, I'm rushing myself for doing it. Don't never go right. And that's me personally. Like I'm sitting here attempting to do something, finish up something, and I'm okay. Uh, when I don't have patience with myself, it doesn't go right. So I just took all of that, reverted it in, and said, okay, my children are the first thing that I'm projecting out. Everything that I see in you all is my actions, how I'm acting. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
That's why I've had to be the way I have when Hamad decided to be how he was. I had to really look, and he said, that's a mirror. Imagine that. Look, he's the one that looks exactly like me.
Yes, sir.
So that right there,
confirmed it.
that right there confirmed it for me in my whole life. And so all of you all, like I said, you all make me stay patient because I'm looking at myself.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to be patient with myself because I know the more I love myself, the more you all will love me back. And the
Yes,
more
sir.
love I get, the more I can give.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what I'm saying? The more I
Yes, sir.
know that I'm doing the right thing. That's really my heart's work. And my mama loved me to death. She loved me to the day she made her transition, and I knew it, and I know it.
She made sure
That's
that
real,
you
no
did.
doubt, no doubt. I'm grateful, and I'm grateful for you for spending the time you did because that energy has been transmuted over. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I
sir.
really have the utmost respect for that. So thank you again.
Anytime.
Yeah, felt a little kind of some kind of way about that because this is gonna be the first time this this solar return thing. So that's what I've been. That was the only thing that I was tripping about earlier. We had no other issues, none whatsoever. Just going through, I start thinking about her, but all is well.
Yes, sir.
It's not like that. It's not sad. It's not sad. It's not sad. She right here with me. I'm just, how you anybody who has the connection that I got or anything close, you can relate.
Especially if it was a first.
Yeah, especially, hey, but she just touched me. She just hugged me and told me to chill, bro. You good? I feel all of that. But thank you for that because that mirror, that mirror, and y'all are replicas of me in such a higher perspective. You guys will take this thing way further than I could have ever imagined because y'all already doing that.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, so I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
Yep, and I'm not gonna ask for forgiveness for that because that's not to be forgiven. That's honest. Like how I feel about y'all and how I feel about nobody's attempting to be all emotional on camera and nothing like that, but hell with that. They don't have nothing, that don't have nothing to do with nothing right now. It has something to do with the truth of what is. But appreciate it.
Appreciate you too, always. People understand.
Yeah. Well,
Especially for the ones that have been through it before.
yeah. Well, it's all real. I don't have no fake. I'm not fake about that. All is well.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So I'm good though.
Yes, sir. All right. So my next question is, if you could sum up the most important lesson from your life so far, what would it be?
The most important lesson so far,
Mm-hmm.
how important it is for me to stay in the present now. Because I since I got a grip on the knowing that I exist in so many different quantum fields in the now on so many different levels, it's important for me to stay present in this realm so that I can continuously receive the information from source. Because there's nothing that I'm getting shared that can be coming from me. Like none of my life, the whole time I had the protection on me doing all the things that I've done that I knew, the average person just don't just don't survive through, not get away with, but survive through. Because it wasn't things like get away. Yeah, get away, but I'm talking about get away from death. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, so I'm very grateful for, you know, the fact of being able to be present in my now. And that is it. That is truly it. That's what I've learned is now is the only thing that matters. You can't bring back yesterday and tomorrow is not promised. Period.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. So my next question is, What's something you thought was important when you were younger, but you now see differently?
Money. I thought money was more important, like to get the bag, get the bag. I thought that was, and then I realized even though I had a spiritual, somewhat of a spiritual foundation, I realized that you don't really, money is not of no objective. The only thing that's important is your balance, your connection to source, your knowing of self, your consciousness of your awareness of self in the present now.
Yes, sir.
That part. Um, and I'm grateful because I've had a lot of elders to give me hints while I was coming up through. I've always had an elder tell me something about me that was like, hey boy, you look different. You different than the rest of them. That kind of stuff. I've always been told that. I never. My mom made me not conceited. She half the time when I was in the mirror, she'd be like, "Get your ass out that mirror." You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, straight up, she wasn't like a fan of the mirror like that for several reasons. Because my father used to be a very vain person. He's very, he looked really good. He had really good hair, so he stayed in the mirror. In their relationship, he stayed in the mirror. She told me early on, she grabbed me one time, "Oh, you ain't gonna be in that mirror. You still going to the mirror." She like shook me up, like she was mad because she saw him, and I think I was in the mirror doing something, and she thought I was doing too much. My daddy used to get in the mirror. He used to get in the mirror and say, "It's funny," because I remember this like it was yesterday. He'd get in the mirror, he'd be combing his hair because he had the waves and stuff. He'd be like, "Bureau cream," and that's some Bureau cream. If you old school, I think you know that because that's what he would call a Bureau cream because it was, I don't even know what it was, but he was saying, "Bureau cream, a little dab of do ya? Bureau cream, you look so debonair." And he'll be rubbing in his hair, he'll be combing his hair while he's singing it. Bureau cream. Then he'll say, "The girls will all pursue ya." And then he'll say, "You simply roll a little in your hair." Like that, he'll rub his hair back, and my mom caught him doing that. She was cussing him out. She was like, he was doing that in front of me, and she was like, "Do you better not never catch you doing that?" She said because men shouldn't be in the mirror thinking they look good and all of that. So she was like, that's what it was. And then because their relationship was based upon a lot of females being in his face, that was So I understood. So the mirror was only my I go to when I'm fussing, complaining, or just I get in the mirror, get the hell out the mirror unless I got something going on, and then I really have been in that mirror on some really admit my life, and that's the reason I did the technique because I realized it was a part of what I was supposed to share willfully to help one other person.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
But so far, it has helped one other person.
Well, it's helped several
A
other
few
people,
other people.
from what I've been told, yeah. But I know it's helped me. And it's scientific how it is because before I ever knew about a mirror technique, someone had already done mirror meditations and all that type of stuff. I knew nothing about that. I wasn't tapped into that part. I was just going off of my intuition of what I should do. So that is what I did, and that is what I got. So it is.
And that is done very well. That's for sure.
Thank you, buddy.
Entirely. All right. So my next question is, how has your definition of success changed over the years?
Same thing. Back to the money thing. It's spiritual, because you chase a bag, you become an entrepreneur. You think you're an entrepreneur. You get it. You win, you lose. You win, you lose. And when you lose and you win to the point where you won to the point, you checked off the point where now money is never an issue. It's the other part. The other part. I don't know too many people that got a lot of money that's not spiritually connected, that haven't, or that got a lot of money that's not that is not spiritually connected, that's not going through something, that's not always going through something, emotional roller coaster. Because when I was working with all them dudes down in the industry, they, even though they're wealthy, rich people on TV and all of that, it's a certain thing they're missing when you don't have a spiritual context. That money can't buy you that part of the love. It really can't. That's the love that comes from the source. Because love, love can buy you money can buy you a temporary description of a falsetto of what someone would describe as love. You know what I'm saying? But love can't be bought. You know what I'm saying? That's a part that I think source has to really, you have to really go to source about. You have to connect on the higher level for that to be receivable in that way. That's just my opinion of it, and it's not humble, period.
It's not meant to be.
Oh, it's not. It will never be. Mhm.
All right. So my final question is, how has your understanding of happiness evolved over the years?
My understanding of happiness has evolved over the years because I've realized that wealth has nothing to do with money. That I realize that riches is like something you can get, you can have and pass around. You can pass around riches. You can pass around riches, and actually, it'd be temporary, and somebody can lose it. I feel in my way of seeing it, if you pass wealth, it's not something that can be lost because it has nothing to do with money. It has something to do with the love perspective, the connected to the source perspective. And I'm not saying that some people that don't believe what I believe are not wealthy, but if you're out here doing things for people, you out here all everything, then it's the same thing. You just
Yes,
maybe
sir.
got to define different. And I don't care about the definition. I don't care about the Islamic, about the Christian, about the Buddhist, about the none. I don't care about the title. I care about the people involved and the energy involved. I don't care about the titles. What I'm concerned about only is the action, the work. What can we do? Because the outcome is the love. Whatever your situation says, whatever your belief system says, it says you're supposed to love somebody. Love, love, love. Okay, can I focus on that part? I've so surpassed the religion and all that, and that's and it's just the point of for me. And I'm suggesting that even if you are still involved heavily in religion, make sure you put the true aspect of love first. And if you judging people, then you judging yourself. You don't love yourself. Stop judging yourself. Love yourself by loving yourself. Love yourself. Judge nobody else, and you won't have no judgment for yourself. You won't be able to judge yourself because anything you're projecting out in your it's really we're projecting and attracting at the same time. That's interesting because just a quick note on how I feel. And this is something that's coming straight from my thoughts right now. Since we are projecting out and we're attracting at the same time, doesn't it make sense that it's us?
Yes, sir.
Because if you're projecting out and it's you and your experience and you're attracting the things that you're projecting, then that's your experience. That's what it is. It all is in a nutshell, whether or not it sounds makes sense or not. It seems to be in a nutshell. I'm projecting out all my everybody I see outside of me is me, but I'm attracting, and those experiences I see, they're me. I have to attract them for me to recognize me, for me to be in consciousness and know that I can shift it, I can change it. I can, if somebody got an attitude with me and it's me outside of me, how I feel about me having an attitude with me, man, don't be mad with me, man. I ain't tripping, my bad. I ain't even mean to make you feel that way about me. I'm talking to me. I'm having compassion upon me. This is what I do. I do this in the mirror all the time. That's why I don't need the mirror no more. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I do this in the mirror. I've done this in the mirror so much now. I project my own mirror. When you go to the Astro, you realize you pull up a mirror wherever you want because you're pulling up a your imagination of a mirrored image of where you've been or what you've seen. You know what I'm saying? I'm just sharing, but I appreciate you asking me any of these questions because we can go for days on some of this stuff because it's all
Yes, sir.
spiritual, and since it's spiritual is infinite, and we'll always have something to connect to or speak about that.
Yes, sir.
you know and
Yes,
I'm
sir.
grateful for thank you again for the beautiful well wishes for my day of my born day solar return, and I'm just
You do
I'm
that for
grateful.
us. You deserve to have somebody that cares.
Well, like I said, it's not going to stop. And since I know now how the power is transmuted and I'm learning more about transitions, when I do make my transition, y'all got, boy, watch the work that I'm going to be doing for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to do it
Yes,
now.
sir.
I'm not planning on transitioning no time soon, but you know what I mean. I
Yes,
just
sir.
have all the will and my commandment that I have allowed in my experience, it has already, well, I've already envisioned it in the other quantum, and I'm actually I astral project to the parts, regularly that assist me to bring power to it. So I'm grateful and I'm willing, commanding love, gratitude, respect, unconditional, unapologetic, unlimited love be upon everyone who comes into contact with this, who sees, hears, feels, or even any part of the vibration and frequency that we emit. Please receive. Love,
Yes, sir.
love, love.
Love. All right. This final thing that I want to read off to you that I did not show you. at
Oh.
all. So just now.
Oh, okay, good. Because I'm sitting there in there for you. Okay, cool. Let's go.
All right. To my phenomenal God, King Father, this world was made fortunate with your presence, and my life has been made fortunate with everything about you. From day one, you always told me that I was here to do some major things, and that I could always do anything I set my mind to. I know you know your words have always been powerful, but they've been so much more for me throughout my life. For as long as I can remember, some of my best times were spent watching and listening to you creating your art in your studio. That to me was one of the best things I could have ever done because it made it clear to me what I would be able to do. It was therapeutic to my heart and soul, and to this day it still is. Throughout my younger years, there were a lot of things I didn't understand. Regardless of everything, you always made it a point to share what you already knew would assist me, even if I wasn't willing to listen to it because you knew I would get it eventually. You are always persistent, exactly as you should have been, because I needed to learn. And trust me, I needed to learn. I am and will always be grateful for that because I see just how much love you put into everything you have done and still do for me and for others. You are truly the epitome of resilience. You never allow anyone to stop you from what you know is right for you. Even through the times I knew things weren't particularly easy for you, you still always made it a point to let everyone know that all is well, and it always will be. You stay true to your values and as a truly lovable being, and you prove that every second of every day without expecting anything in return. To me, someone such as that deserves to have everything. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful to be a part of you. I'm grateful to have you in my life. I'm grateful for everything you shared with me because I know for a fact that it's the reason I'm who and where I am today. I couldn't have asked for anything better. I am honored to continue this walk of life with you, just as we have agreed upon before the beginnings of this realm. I wouldn't have it any other way. Happy solar return, my most cherished and beloved God, King Father. Continue to enjoy every last bit of everything. You truly deserve it all and so much more. I love you beyond all forms of understanding, and I thank you again for everything.
Wow. Wow. Such an honor. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I got to show the camera because she's always creating things in such a positive and powerful way, and she's so intelligent with her writing and everything. My gosh, I'm just, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you, baby.
You're always welcome.
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you
I
always.
appreciate you too.
Thank you. You give me a whole new definition of what young um, mother energy is overall old energy, because like you got that mother energy, baby. You got it. I'm so grateful that you have received it, and I'm always going to support you. Yeah, and talk about talented. She talking about hey, listen, y'all got watch. That's all I can say is watch. Y'all, she's coming soon, already here. Love, peace. I appreciate you,
I appreciate you.
Thank you again. Thank you.
You're always welcome.
Can't make this up. Can't make this up, loved ones. Can't make this up. You understand? I love y'all. Thank you for spending this time. Thank you. Thank you again, baby.
Thank you.
Wow. That was powerful.